The elevator doors slammed open so hard they rattled against the metal frame. Dr. Evan Park stepped out without looking back, his white coat fluttering behind him as nurses and interns rushed after him. Doctor, the patient is crashing. Vitals dropping. BP is 70 over 40. Evan didn't slow down. Move, he said calmly, pushing open the operating room doors. Inside, chaos waited. A young man lay on the surgical table, blood soaking through the gauze wrapped around his head. Machines screamed warnings. Jade Carter stood near the anesthesia machine, her heart pounding as she adjusted the IV. Dr. Park, we're losing him, she said. Evans snapped on his gloves with practiced precision. How long since the hemorrhage started? 3 minutes. Prep the field. Now. His voice was quiet, but every person in the room obeyed instantly. That was the thing about Dr. Evan Park. He never raised his voice. But when he spoke, people listened. Jade had worked at Riverside Medical Center for 3 years, and she had never seen someone like him. Steady, cold, unshakable. Rumors about him floated through the hospital like ghosts. No family, no past. He showed up with insane credentials. He trained at the best hospitals in the world. But no one knew where he came from. No one except Evan himself, and he intended to keep it that way. Scalpel, he said. Jade placed the instrument in his hand. Their fingers brushed for half a second. Something in Evan's expression flickered, then vanished. He leaned over the patient. Let's save this man. The room fell silent except for the machines. Minutes turned into an hour. Jade watched him work. His hands moved with impossible precision, every cut exact, every decision instant. At one point, the heart monitor screamed, flatline. Doctor, charge the paddles, Evan said calmly. But do it. Jade obeyed. Clear. The body jolted. Nothing. Again. The second shock sent the patient's chest jumping. The monitor beeped. A heartbeat returned. The room exhaled. Evan didn't react. Close him up, he said quietly. 2 hours later, the surgery ended. Jade found him in the hallway washing his hands. You saved him, she said softly. Evan dried his hands. That's the job. You make it look easy. It isn't. She hesitated. You never celebrate, do you? His eyes met hers. For a moment, something tired and ancient lived inside them. No, he said, because the next patient is always waiting. He walked away before she could answer. Jade watched him go. Something about Dr. Evan Park fascinated her. He looked like a man carrying a mountain, but he never let anyone see the weight. That night, Evan drove home in silence. His apartment was small, too small for someone with his skills, too ordinary. But that was exactly why he chose it. He removed his watch. The watch alone cost more than the entire building, a reminder of a life he had buried. His phone buzzed, unknown number. He stared at it, then answered, Yes. A deep voice spoke. Mr. Park. Evan's jaw tightened. I told you never to call this number. Your father is ill. Silence filled the room. I no longer have a father. He's dying. Evan hung up. He poured a glass of water but didn't drink it. Memories flooded back. Private jets, boardrooms, security teams, and the man who ruled it all, Chairman Park, his father, the head of a global empire worth hundreds of billions. Evan had walked away from it all 5 years ago, changed his name, disappeared, because he never wanted that life. Power, politics, control. He wanted to save people, not own them, but the past had a way of finding you. At the hospital the next morning, Jade arrived early. Her phone buzzed. Her sister's name flashed on the screen. Jade, her sister said, voice trembling. They're threatening to take the house. Jade's stomach dropped. How much do we owe now? 40,000. Jade closed her eyes. Their father's medical bills had destroyed them. I'll figure something out. How? I don't know yet. But she would. She had to. She walked into the hospital exhausted. Evan noticed immediately. You're distracted, he said. Jade blinked. Sorry? You gave me the wrong instrument twice. She flushed. That's never happened before. Something's wrong. She forced a smile. Just life. Evan studied her. Most people hid behind polite lies, but Jade's exhaustion felt real. Take a break, he said. I'm fine. That wasn't a suggestion. She sighed. Okay, boss. Later that evening, Evan found her sitting alone in the break room. She was staring at her phone. Still here? He asked. She looked up. Yeah. You should go home. She laughed bitterly. Home costs money. He sat across from her. What's happening? She hesitated. I don't usually dump my problems on surgeons. I asked. She rubbed her temples. My dad got sick last year, cancer. I'm sorry, gone now. Her voice cracked. But the bills aren't. How much? Too much. Evan didn't push further, but the number stuck in his mind. Later that night, he made a phone call. Find out everything about Nurse Jade Carter, he said. The voice on the other end replied instantly, Yes, Mr. Park. By morning, Evan knew everything. Debt, mortgage, two younger siblings. She worked double shifts just to keep them fed. He stared at the report, then deleted it, because helping her meant breaking his own rule. Never interfere. Never reveal who you are. But something about Jade made those rules feel fragile. 3 days later, chaos erupted in the hospital lobby. Black SUVs pulled up outside. Security flooded the building. Doctors whispered, Who are those people? They look like government agents. Jade stood behind the reception desk watching. Then a tall man in a suit walked in. His eyes scanned the room. Where is Dr. Evan Park? Jade frowned. Who's asking? I represent the Park Group. The name meant nothing to her. But across the hall, Evan had just stepped out of the elevator, and when he saw the man, the color drained from his face. The man walked straight toward him. Mr. Park, Evan's voice was ice. I told you never to come here. The chairman insists. I'm not going back. You may not have a choice. Jade watched the exchange, confused. Mr. Park? The suited man lowered his voice. The board has begun succession procedures. I walked away. You are the sole heir to a $300 billion empire. Evan's jaw tightened. I chose a different life, and yet your father is dying. Silence stretched. Then the man noticed Jade watching. Ah, he said slowly. So this is why. Evan's eyes flashed. Leave. Not until you return home. I'm not your property. You're the future of Park Group. Evan stepped closer. I'm a doctor. For the first time, the man smiled. We'll see how long that lasts. The SUVs drove away minutes later, but the damage was done. The entire hospital had seen, and Jade had heard enough to realize something impossible. Dr. Evan Park wasn't just a mysterious surgeon. He was the heir to one of the richest companies in the world. That night, she found him alone on the rooftop. You lied to everyone, she said quietly. He didn't turn around. I never said I was poor. You said nothing. Exactly. She crossed her arms. So what now? Billionaire by day, surgeon by night? I'm not a billionaire. You're close enough. Evan finally looked at her. His eyes were tired. I didn't choose that life. Most people would. It destroys people. She studied him. Then why did they come? My father is dying. The wind whipped around them, and they want you to take over. Yes. Will you? No. Even if he dies? Evan's voice cracked slightly. I left for a reason. She softened. Family is complicated. You have no idea. She hesitated. Actually, I might. He looked at her, and for the first time they shared something real. Two people drowning under different kinds of responsibility. Days passed. But the pressure around Evan grew heavier. Board members called, lawyers called, threats disguised as polite requests. Then one night, Jade didn't show up for work. Evan checked the schedule again. Absent. He felt a strange unease. An hour later, his phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Dr. Park, a rough voice said. Yes? We have Nurse Jade Carter. His blood froze. If you want her alive, the man continued, you'll return to Korea and accept your position. Rage exploded through Evan's chest. You think kidnapping a nurse will control me? We think you care about her. Silence. Tick-tock, the voice said. The call ended. For 5 years, Evan had run from power, but power had finally found him again. He grabbed his keys. His old life was over, because someone had touched the one person he refused to lose, and the heir to the Park Empire was about to remind the world exactly who he was.